scientists suddenly discovered a terrifying scene. A group of monsters living 10,000 meters underground. These monsters were very strong and looked a bit formidable. But to save his companion, Jack had to enter. Jack hurriedly took a detour and finally infiltrated the area. But after searching high and low, he only found a pile of clothing. Where was Annie being held? He looked up and almost died of fright. He saw a hook-shaped terrace covered in blood. Frightened, he kept backing away. It was clear that his companion had become food for the monsters. Following the slope, he fell into a river channel. Little did he know that the river was even more terrifying, filled with human remains. Horrified, he desperately tried to escape. The next second, he was caught by a monster and locked in a dungeon, where he discovered Annie was also being held. He hurried over to greet her, but Annie completely ignored him, her eyes dull and fixed straight ahead. Jack turned around and was stunned once again. There was a person here, an individual with white hair sitting there, seemingly waiting for Jack for a long time. The mysterious man explained that he, like Jack, came from the past. 800,000 years ago, after the moon exploded, the Earth was no longer suitable for living creatures. Some people survived on the surface, while others escaped underground. A few hundred years later, when they wanted to return to the surface, they found it impossible. To survive, they continuously evolved, developing the ability to control others' thoughts. Later, they divided humans into two categories. One lived on the surface under their control, timid and cowardly. The other lived underground, becoming the monsters Jack had seen earlier. They were strong and bloodthirsty, serving as hunters to capture the surface dwellers for food. Meanwhile, the mysterious group focused on developing their mental abilities. Upon hearing this, Jack instantly became agitated, glaring at them for their inhumanity and violation of natural laws. Hearing this, the mysterious man flew into a rage, grabbing Jack and threatening to kill him if he dared question their 800,000 years of evolutionary achievements. Of course, he didn't really want to kill Jack because they were from the same era. In other words, they were the same kind. He knew that Jack had created the time machine to save his fiancée. Without the time machine, they would never have met. Perhaps this was fate. The mysterious man then answered Jack's question about why the past couldn't be changed. He explained that it was because of Amy's death that Jack created the time machine. If Amy hadn't died, the time machine wouldn't exist. So how could Jack use it to go back and save her? Everything was caused by Jack himself. Having resolved Jack's doubts, the mysterious man returned the time machine to Jack, allowing him to go back to the past and fulfill his dream. But how could Jack tolerate this kind of human evolution? He grabbed the mysterious man and pulled him into the time machine, determined to rebuild human civilization. Jack planned to throw the mysterious man out of the time machine and let the passage of time finish him off. However, he was no match for the mysterious man and was beaten to a pulp. In a moment of desperation, Jack had a flash of inspiration. He decisively smashed the steam gauge, and the mysterious man was instantly ejected by the steam. The time machine sped along the flow of time, and the mysterious man outside the machine eventually succumbed to the years, turning to dust. Afterward, Jack did not return to the era he lived in, but adjusted the time to return to the dungeon. Since he couldn't change the past, he would change the future.